G'day guys, it's Pete here from Clinic Mastery. In today's video, what we're going to be going through is decision making, and in particular, how we can make better decisions as clinic owners, how we can learn from those decisions and from both the subjective and the objective data we get from that, how we can create different iterations of this and move faster and go further. Now, one key thing here, and something I'd love you to do, right, is keep a journal. So when you make a decision, what I want you to do is I want you to write down what is the decision that I need to make. I want you to write down the different options you had for that decision. And underneath each of those, I want you to write down the pros and the cons of each decision, the things for it and against it. I would love you to write down as well the second and third order consequences of each decision. Now, what I mean by that is you make a decision to do something. So you might say, I'm going to increase my prices as the clinic director. So let's say my standard fee is 120, the whole team is 120, and I'm going to go to 140. And I might write down the pros are we're going to make an extra $20 per client that I see. I see 50 clients a week, for example. So 50 times 20 is an extra $1,000 a week. And we can start to list down the pros from this. We might then go, and another pro might be it's going to push more people towards the younger therapists that we're trying to fill up a little bit more. The cons list could be here, well, potentially if we raise our prices, people look at the younger therapists and go, well, they're not as good. So they want to book with me even more. Potentially they don't book with me, but they don't book with the younger therapist either. Okay, so we're losing some clients. There's a net loss there. So you write down the cons as well. But then we write down the second and third order consequences. So let's say we do this, what could be a second order consequence of increasing our fees as the director? Well, a second order consequence could be that younger team members feel like they're inferior, like the service that they provide isn't as good. So this, and not to say this is what they are going to think, but these are things that we might think through. So, okay, how do we deal with that second order consequence? Well, rather than positioning it as a negative, can we have a chat with the team and position it as this is giving them progression over time? So they can go from our physio rates to our senior physio to our principal physio, whatever way that we decide to do this. But detailed decision making, okay? Because what we want to do is we want to be able to come back to this. We want to say, in 1 month's time, in 3 months' time, I'm going to come back to this and I'm going to critically assess the decision that I made at that point in time. But the fact that you've written it down, you've put a date in the future that you're going to come back and critically assess that decision, it sets you apart from the crowd. It's amazing. Now, the reason why it's so good is because typically what you do is you'll make a decision. I've done this myself before. You'll make a decision. 3 months later, you assess that decision. When you assess that decision, what you're going to do, because you have these biases, okay, is you're going to look back with rose-colored glasses. So whatever outcome you've achieved there, typically you're going to twist what happened or what you thought in that moment to better align with the reality that you face at that point in 3 months' time. Now, that is great for self-esteem and for thinking that you did a great job, but it's not great for really understanding your own decision making. And so the best leaders, the best clinic owners, they do this. They keep a journal of the decisions they've made. They put a date in the future when they're going to actually go and assess these. And then they look at the reality at that point in time, and they look at the decision that they made, and they learn. And that's the key thing is we learn from the decisions we made. What about that decision did we do well? Where did we make poor assumptions? How can we learn from that in future? So these are some of the key things that I want you to really focus on as a clinic owner, because a lot of us will continue to just not actually learn from the decisions we make because we look back through those rose-colored glasses, because we have those biases. Now, if you're going to really improve and achieve the goals that you want, you need to better improve your decision making, because as your clinic grows and you grow as a leader, the value that you bring to your team and to the business is going to be more about those decisions you make and less about the amount or the volume of work that you do. And so we have to think, what are those decisions that move the needle the most? And how can we become better at making those? There may be 2 or 3 key decisions every single month or every single quarter. And if we can make those decisions 10, 20, 30, 40% better, What is the impact that has over a year, over 2 years, over a decade? That is what I'd like you to focus on, my friends. So, key from this video, please get a journal, write it down. You can do it. I love to do it handwritten. You can do it anywhere. If you're more digital and more savvy than I am, do it on Google Doc, do it on your iPad, whatever it may be. But write down those decisions, and then in your calendar, put in a date that you're going to come back and you're going to assess, critically assess the decision that you made. That's all for today's video, my friends. These are some of the things that we work on with clinic owners to help them to become better leaders, better business owners, so that they can achieve the goals that they want to achieve. If you want to learn about how to work with us at Clinic Mastery, please send me an email, peter@clinicmastery.com. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to further explain what we can do and how we can help you to achieve your goals as a clinic owner.